So the Euro 1000 can be operated as a very effective pot still for either bringing up low wines, low fermentations to a spirit distilling strength, or as a straight wash operating still. Or with the addition of the refiner, it can be converted into a full wash operating still, bringing it up to strength ready for barrelling of around 80%. With the addition of the Euro head, which is exclusive to the still, it can be converted into a full reflux still, producing over 90% pure spirit. And of course, if botanicals are needed to be distilled through, these can be added to the copper head and the essential oils taken out. Everything is finished in 304 stainless steel and copper. The quality manufacture is to industry standards, and you can expect this still to last for many years. So first things first, always read the instruction manual and have all the parts on hand, and make sure you're familiar with them and the seals before you start. The boiler unit is the heart of the still, and as you can see, it's been fitted with a high bore drain valve, which is a butterfly lock valve, and it means it can drain high solid washes and grains out through after distilling. The cover plate is first of all removed, and then the element inserted and screwed up tight. The boiler comes in 30 and 60 litre capacity, and effective working levels are 25 and 55 litres. It's fitted with a digital thermometer, which gives you an accurate idea of your distilling temperature. The temperature the wash is going to distill at varies on the amount of alcohol in the wash and its thickness. So once you've done a fermentation and then a distillation, keep those records for future use. Yep. The first step of assembly is to insert the silicon seal and the boiler head on top. Then place the second silicon ring on the boiler head and fit the copper head to that. You will see that the copper head has its own temperature gauge, and that's very important for people who are doing botanical distillations, so they get an accurate record and reading of the vapour temperature passing through the botanicals. Pre-assemble the condensing unit, complete with its hoses, prior to installing into the still. Fit the line arm and then attach the pre-assembled condenser to the line arm. The condenser is fitted with 3 tubes to make it extra efficient, and so that the cooling water does not have to be at a high velocity to completely condense any vapour coming through. Finally, fit the collection cup to the bottom of the condenser, and you'll note that it has an overflow tube which has been especially added so for people who are distilling low wines to a 30% spirit run, have plenty of capacity to take the extra condensate away. So once placing the copper reboiler unit, it's then covered with its glass shroud, and finally the condenser is reattached. So once again, make sure that the copper refiner is properly seated on its seal before attaching the glass. And always make sure you tighten up the clamps firmly. Don't over tighten, otherwise you'll crush the copper. head on the still, or it'll deform the seal badly. To the bottom of the condenser, fasten the cup, which you'll see has an overflow section as well, in case you're distilling high volumes of low value spirit. As usual, tighten it up firmly so that there's no loss at the joint. The cooling pipes simply inserted by pushing into the clamps fitted into the tower and the condenser. The cold water comes into the bottom of the condenser, exits at the top, and if you're running it as a reflux, it then goes across to the top of a reflux tower and works its way down into waste. When you're seating the copper, head and glass refiner, always remember, do not over tighten this, otherwise you'll distort and crush both the seal and the copper. Just make sure it's firm and there's no leaks. Then on to the top of the refiner, your pre-assembled condenser unit is fitted, again with clamping, and again just tighten it up so it's nice and firm. This completes the refining still phase and will produce around 80% ethanol. As the unit starts to distill, you'll see condensate appearing, which are the early vapours, early alcohols, ethers and so on come into it. But when it's running in full speed, this is what you'll see. So there's the refining still and copper head running nicely, dripping 80+% alcohol from the unit and completely in balance. This still is unique in that you can also use it for producing essential oils or extracts such as gin and botanicals. This is easily done. You simply insert the botanicals into the copper dome. Don't overpack it, because you always need to have enough ventilation going through it that the spirit vapour travels through, and at the end just insert the copper mesh to prevent the botanicals from falling through. Install it on top of the dome, and in the pot you will have already had a dilute alcohol solution of between 20 and 40%, and that will quietly steam through and extract. Now the still can also be run as a full reflux unit, producing over 90% pure alcohol. The first of all is the tower is loaded with putting some copper mesh into it. The copper mesh reacts with sulfur compounds and gives you pure spirit. We then fill the tower with specially sized ratchet rings. These are ceramics, and they have an enormous surface area which will ensure that the water vapour and other heavy contaminants condense and go back down into the pot. So empty the whole bag into the tower. And you can top it off with another piece of copper mesh. Bring the tower over and mate it up with the top of the glass refiner. Again, using the clamp, just tighten it up firmly so there's no looseness. To the top of the tower you can then attach your pre-assembled condenser unit and line arm, again with another clamp. In all, the unit is about 2 metres tall. There you can see the water path coming from the condenser through the tracking into the tower and finally to waste. The water speed does not need to be fast, simply exiting at tepid is fine. The still in full operation will produce 92% or better. So thank you for looking at this. Hauraki Brewing, happy distilling.